welcome to another episode of Political Perspective. Today, my name is Ifeanyi Okalu, your regular anchor. With me is the Abia State Governorship candidate of Action People's Party, APP, Chief Mascot Uzor Kalu. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
We'd like our viewers to know more about you.
Well, my name is Mascot Uzor Kalu. I am a graduate of Economics and Finance from the University of South Carolina. I am a former stockbroker, investment banker, former chief of staff, and currently a businessman and entrepreneur, cum politician.
All right, I've had that. So we want to know what prepared you into joining the race, becoming the governor of Abia State come 2023.
Well, looking at Abia, a state that I'm proud of, a state that I love so much, and the potential of the state, especially Abia, having gone around and seen certain things that are happening, it propelled me to join the race. Also looking at the options that we have today, I don't see strong, viable, young voice. When I mean young, I mean men in their 30s, 40s, and maybe early 50s, which are the right age we should have for governorship candidates and governors of the state. And I'm not having that feel that we have the right people with the right training to propel the state affairs, given the state and the situation that we find ourselves in Abia State. We're so behind, we're so backwards. And so we need a very strong, prepared leader to lead the state.
Yes, you've been a member of APC for past some years ago, but coming back to Abia State, we noticed you joined the party APP. So why did you leave?
It's simple. I wasn't well treated in APC. I've made it very clear. I left the party because when my brother is there and I'm there, I work, I do things for the party, and when it's time to maybe compensate, they always remind me my brother is a chief whip, But when it's to fight for the party and the growth of the party, I don't see anybody reminding me about that. I'll take example when during the 2019 electioneering, I know what we contributed for the visit of the presidency. My brother was the highest donor, followed by Uchoga, followed by my brother, and my mother. Nobody complained then that my brother has already given, that we should not give. But we all gave. And if you count the top 5, it was those Akalos were 4 out of the top 5 givers when the president was coming to visit Abia. So such examples that I'm giving, when it's time for us to be compensated, they remember that, oh, your brother is already a chief whip. And it's not supposed to be so. That's not what you play politics to do. You put your strength in politics. When there are dividends that come out of politics, it should be going, even if you want to share pro rata, based on everybody's effort and involvement. You do it that way. So I decided to pull my group and join APP and forge ahead.
All right, you said you pulled your group and joined APP. Let's go down to a few years ago where you sought to represent the people of Abia North and South in the House of Representatives following the death of late Honorable O.C. Prestige. The project did not materialize. What would chance with your decision to run for the higher office?
Well, that election clearly was won by me. It was stolen at the point of counting and calculations. And unfortunately, it's part of the things I talked about as being a member of APC. APC as itself only existed more in Abia North. In the Abia Central and Abia South, mostly in Abia South, it was more of the dog chop dog kind of effect. There was no unity. People used people to get ahead. That election was lost because our people collected money, and the election was rigged. And I didn't pursue a legal.
You said people collected who collected the money?
APC members collected money, and the election was.
When you say APC members, is your brother involved?
No, I said APC members. Okay. I said in Abia South.
Okay.
APC members in Abia South collected money. Members of our party in Abia South, the section, collected money, and that's why we lost that election. I didn't seek a redress from the court because if you think about it, it was a very short period, and if you're going to tribunal, you're looking at a 1+ year in tribunal, and the time difference was like less than a year and a half. So that's why I did not seek redress. If not, I felt very strongly based on what we had, the results we had, and the actual results from the polling units, that election would have been upturned. But I didn't seek redress because it wouldn't have made any. We would have been finishing, concluding tribunal maybe January, February, and as you can tell, the elections would have been over by then. So
what's your decision to run for a higher office?
Well, my decision to run for a higher office because I feel I have a lot to add. I have the prerequisite training that this office needs. Having been a chief of staff, having worked as an international businessman, worked here as a Nigerian businessman, the office of the governor requires a lot of relationship, a lot of tolerance, a lot of training to be able, because there's a lot of decisions that are spontaneous, and if it's not made right, sometimes it could be destructive. So if you've never been in that office, it takes you time to learn it. As a man who's been a chief of staff, I was not just the chief of staff, I was also like a de facto governor in the 3+ years I was there. I ran the government myself when I was there, well, with authority and instructions from the governor. So it's not a new terrain for me. It's not a new place that I have to be in. So when people talk about it, when you bring people who do not have that experience, they go through a learning curve of at least 3. There's no way, even no matter how smart you are, you have to at least go a minimum of 3 years learning curve. And Abia does not have that opportunity. Abia does not have that time. I've taken time to go around, at least at this moment, about 13 local governments. I'm talking about community by community, 13 local governments. I can tell you the situation is disheartening. Abia does not have the time or the patience for a governor who's going to come and learn. Abia needs a governor who has experience. And amongst all of us running for governor today, I am the only one with that experience.
All right, we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll still discuss with the APP governorship candidate of Abia State, Chief Mascot Uzor Kalu. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Political Perspective on ABN TV. Still on our studios today with the APP governorship candidate, Abia State Chief Mascot Uzor Kalu. Sir, we still have some other questions to ask you. Your party APP is barely known. It has no local government chairman, House of Assembly member. What structure are you banking on to succeed?
Are you talking about candidates? Are you talking about elected?
Elected.
Okay. Most of the other political parties do not have the same. The difference is that their political parties have been operating within the Abia State for a longer period of time. The election this year is going to be peculiar. It's going to be different. A lot of people are not going to vote along party lines. A lot of people are going to vote based on individual.
Why do you say?
Because that's what they keep telling us when we go out on the streets. People tell you, oh, for these I'm interested in this person, this I'm interested in this person, I'm interested in this person. So, but we still put our message out there. We still push our candidates. We still push our message. We still try to pride ourselves to show what we can do differently, and make people understand why, especially for the House of Assembly members, why they should try to vote along party lines. But there'll be a lot of shocker in 2023 election. A lot of shocker that will come in 2023 election. I think a lot of people know it, but some people are still stuck in the days of winner takes all. It's not going to be like that, and it's not going to be like that. And we're moving to the grassroots. We're the only political party in Abia today that I can tell you we are moving straight to the grassroots to campaign.
All right, your campaign has largely anchored on unity of the state. Why that?
Well, it's not just unity of the state, but one of my key worry and key thing that I see that has been an issue is that since for a very long time after elections, we don't see unity of political parties. We continue to see the war and the fight that happened during the election, the war and the fight that continues after the election. I give it as an example. Let's take 2019, for example. The top candidates or the top runners were Uchoga, Alex Oti, Governor Bazo. I've never seen three of them sit down, or even two of them sit down to have exchanges of pleasantries and talk about how do we move Abia forward. Both of them in their own, all of them in their own various ways have contributions they can make to Abia. And so these are the areas I'm talking about. We need to unite Abia after the election. I will be a governor that will invite the opposition party. I will invite those who are run against or those who run against me and say, come, the elections are over. The main thing right now, how do we move Abia forward? That's the key thing.
All right, our finding is that your name, a household name in Aba, and the commercial center of the state. You agree with me that the infrastructure in the city and indeed Omaya, the state capital, fall below expectation. What will you do differently if elected as the governor of Abia State?
Simple. Key thing, infrastructural development, economic revitalization. We must find a way to pump money into the infrastructure, especially Aba. Key is Aba. Because the revenue that we need to drive and rebuild the state is going to come from Aba. And you cannot drive that revenue if you don't put the infrastructural development in place. Take, for example, you go to Port Harcourt Road. This is a hub of all the generator sellers, all the spare parts people. This is a hub of where they do business. A lot of spare parts, car spare parts and all those things are sold along that road. You have a lot of people also living in that neighborhood. So people that work inside town from East Hospital Road, that's a road, a lot of them live back in the Port Harcourt Road area. And so you have a road for the past 6 years has remained in a state of Elysium. And you ask yourself a question, what is going on? And this is an easy access route from goods coming on Port Harcourt Express Road to also come into Aba. Because if you fix Port Harcourt Road, you decongest Osisioma from all those big trailers, because a lot of this are coming from the port. You decongest Osisioma, it's easier, even if you don't, it's easier for people to go straight to Port Harcourt Road and come in because they don't have to pass through the town, the city centers. So, and that's the road is in common to say, Abia is really in need of total infrastructural turnaround. Part of the problem is that the drainage system in Abia was last designed during the time of Mbakwe. And it was designed during the time of the old Imo State. And in that design, Abia area zone was seen to have the lowest flood zone in the old Imo State. So all the design of water coming from the old Imo States was channeled towards area because there was supposed to be a dam built in area. That's why I have made this comment many times. And I discovered this as a chief of staff. I don't know what the government are doing. I discovered this when I was chief of staff.
But when you were the chief of staff, did you tell the governor then?
Yes, we had a plan. There was a plan to redo the design. But the governor said it was too expensive. I brought people from Netherlands who came and surveyed Abia. I invited them. I paid out of my own pocket and put them up out of my own pocket. They came and said they can redesign the flood zone in Abia instead of building the dam, put it in 6 sections. And it required then, the cost then of doing that was about 6.5 billion as of 2008. 6.5 billion as of 2008. That was what the cost was. At that time, I think exchange rates was somewhere about 130 or 120, 130, 140. So they said the cost then was about 6.5 billion. The governor then said we didn't have the funds. I told the governor, okay, from records from Ministry of Lands, we have over 1,700 houses in Abia that had encroached the old flood zones. I said, rather than destroy their houses, we called them for a meeting and penalize them. And when I looked at it and did the numbers, I said, we can actually have them pay back about 4.5 billion. Rather than us destroying their houses, destroying what they've already built. We told them, okay, we're going to redesign the place. This is your penalty. Some will pay 1 million, some will pay 2 million, some will pay 3 million, depending on the size of house you have.
Yeah.
And depending on the area as well. I said, so the government will only bring out 1 billion. If we had done that then, but the governor said it was too expensive. I'm not the governor. I can only give advice. That's all I can do. But I brought a solution there.
Okay, some persons believe that since your family has produced a governor, it will not be right for the next governor of the state to emerge from the family. What's your reaction on that?
That'd be a myopic thinking. That my brother has been governor today should not be what should stop me from being governor. The governor of Abia State should be one that is really prepared, has a vision, has a message that can change the state, regardless of whose family the person comes from. First of all, let's look at it this way as well. By right, this governorship is supposed to return back to Abia North. This is where the zone that should produce governor. If we want to go through things in the right order, Abia North is a zone that should produce the governorship today. If the Ngwa section in Central is making a claim, they can make that claim when the governorship rotates back to Central.
Is there any agreement on that?
Is it not the sharing formula that everybody was going? Is it not in the national they have a sharing formula that from it goes to the north, it goes back to the south?
Is there a party sharing formula or individual sharing formula?
When you talk about the Charter of Equity, is it not the Charter of Equity? The Charter of Equity is the 3 zones. Nobody should tell us Charter of Equity is in 2 zones. The Charter of Equity is in 3 zones.
That's Abia North.
Abia North, Central, Abia South. It's a Charter of Equity.
So you're saying it should go back to Abia North?
It should go, but the right place it should go back is the Abia North. The Ngwas in the Abia Central can make a claim. And that claim will be between them and the Umuahia or the old Umuahia zone. And then they can have that discussion whether who should produce governor. It's not now. That discussion should not be having now. But since if we now want to say, let us go for all, I have said it. I am the best candidate. And nobody has proved me wrong. None of the candidates have gone on air to say, no, Mascot, you're not. See why I'm better. No, they cannot. The question is, among us today, who has the experience, the prerequisite experience to run the state? The next day, I'll start running the state. They'll be looking for where office of the DF is, office of my permanent secretary. They'll take them for a tour. Who needs to take me for a tour? The government has not changed. We've not built a new one. The office of the finance office has not changed. If I need anything, if it's on border, I know where to find. I know which office to call and get records. They don't know.
Because you said something about office has not changed. What about if Okezigbo to finish the new government house? Will you try to look
in which year are you talking about? In which year are you talking about? Whether he finishes or he does not finish it, which is impossible, it's not going to be finished.
Well, there are some structures, there are things are happening there.
No, wait now. Whether he finishes or not finish it, if I want certain items, I know the department and office to get it from. That's the key thing. That's the learning curve they have to go through.
Okay. And
it could take 3 years. For a very smart person, it would take 2 plus to 3 years. For no so smart person, it could take 7 years or 6 years. Abia does not have that such time. Let me tell you something. It's not everybody who has the funds to put poster, to go to a political party and get ticket, is actually ready for governance. There's electioneering, and there's actually running of the government. That's why a lot of times people say, but when he was this, we had so much hope. He was not prepared to lead. So if me as Uzor Kalu, I'm prepared to lead, people should leave that alone and put me there, let me lead and bring home the bacon. All these people running are not prepared to lead. And all of them are deceiving Abians. Most of them came from the same political party. They're all members of PDP who have run to different political parties because they could not get tickets. I left my party because I was unjustly treated. And I left way before the election period. Some of them left because they know they cannot get tickets. And some are jumping from one party to the other. Where's integrity? Where's the honesty? And how do you elect a governor who has no integrity, has no honesty, and he wants to now come and lead with his conscience?
All right, with the integrity you mentioned here, if elected, in what particular area of governance would you pay attention to?
Infrastructure development, economic development, education, healthcare, security. These are 5 key areas that we need to pay attention to. And we are failing in these whole 5 areas. Infrastructure development is low. Business is falling low. Healthcare is almost non-existent. Education, below average.
Okay, just a few weeks ago, the flag off campaign of the PDP, the ruling party in the states, the governor, the executive governor of Abia State said, or rightly said, that there is no other party in the state apart from PDP. So what's your reaction on that?
I think that's a political scare. Even a little child knows that the other political parties, whether they're able to win or not win, is a different statement. I think the PDP of exercising their days of glory, just like every other party, they're very fractured and fractionized, like every other party. Them, the APC, all the parties are weakened. The only party that is strong, coming up strong, uniting, is our party, APP, and maybe 1 or 2 other parties. The other parties have skeletons in the closet. And believe me, after the presidential election, you're going to see a lot of surprises. There's going to be a lot of aligning and realigning. We're out there, we hear them, we hear the things. A lot of aligning and realigning that will happen. So let nobody feel that they're sitting safe. This election will be won in 2 ways. Either is a blowout election, whereby people have realigned and said this is the candidate of choice, or it's going to be an election with the winner will have very minimal margin. These are the 2 things that happen. If people don't decide on what to do, the winner will even win maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 votes. Or it will be a blowout election whereby a lot of political parties now zoom in and say this is the candidate of choice and this is where they're going.
All right, with insecurity in the state, how have you been coping with your campaign process?
Well, God has been merciful, and we've also been careful. And you also know I'm one politician that does not really have enemies. Because when I was in government, I was honest with people. I treated people fairly. I said it yesterday that tell me one person who has left government, no single case, no single political enemy, nobody abusing you, that when you were in government, you did this wrong. I am the only person. And I was the youngest ever appointed chief of staff in the whole nation. And the only chief of staff that has resigned honorably, not forced out of office, not sacked, resigned, not leaving office by death, resigned on their own.
Can you tell us why you resigned?
That is for my own personal reasons.
All right, thank you for watching this program, Political Perspective. Is a wonderful one today with the governorship candidate of APP, Chief Mascot Uzor Kalu. Mascot Uzor Kalu, Chief, do you have any other thing to tell your supporters out there?
Well, keep on supporting us. You know our message. Onye Yorie, Ofegu, Ekotofe, Anotozo, Anotoafo. It's going to be a government that you've never seen before. A government full of economic prosperity. That I promise. Economic prosperity, infrastructural development, health system, improvement in health system, improvement in security, and we'll come out with the best record in education. That I can promise you.
All right. Thank you, viewers, for watching this. My name is Siriman Ifeanyi Alkali, the anchor. Bye for now.